What is up, good people? Jungle Inc. here. Hope you're doing good. Want to go over this talking point, this reoccurring theme that I see on Twitter right now that maybe XRP's shortcomings, well, it's the investor's fault. It's your fault. It's my fault. The way that we utilize or lack of utilization of the XRP token. Is there any substance to that? So we'll discuss that. I'll tell you what I think about it. But before we get into that idea, I want to go over the news of the day, which is Grayscale dominating the SEC. They won their case. The markets got pumped a little bit here. We see currently Bitcoin's up a little over 5% on the day. Rest of the market pretty green. What does this mean? The fact that Grayscale beat the SEC, does that mean tomorrow we get a Bitcoin ETF, or for Grayscale, even more importantly, a Grayscale ETF? No. Just means they can't arbitrarily say, well, spot Bitcoin ETFs are unsafe, but the futures product are fine. Like, there's no reason behind that. But it doesn't mean they can't sit back and come up with some reasons. Just make them up. Grayscale, we're not accepting it for these reasons, or whatever it may be. I have a feeling, again, that we are going to get a Bitcoin ETF. And I have my spidey senses are telling me it ain't going to be a Grayscale one. It'll probably be Fidelity and, of course, BlackRock and a few players like that. We'll have to see. Maybe Grayscale sneaks in there. Usually first to the market captures the market. But it's still good to see the SEC getting pushed back from courts. They can't just make up their own laws, their own procedures. They're not our daddies. They can't tell us, this is what you can invest in, but this is too risky. That's not their call to make. And courts are telling them as such. They don't have authority to act as they are. And we know, again, these ETF products, they're coming quick. I expect them early next year. And it's good to see Grayscale dominate in court over the SEC, but I'm not so sure it's going to work out for them long term. We'll have to see it play out. Maybe it does. Now, here is a post, and in a lot of ways, I agree with some of these talking points. But if you see, and I don't know how to see his name, a very famous XRP member, Thanon Somos. But anyway, you see what he says here. Utilize your tokens. Don't just speculate unless you agree with Gensler. And in his post here, he's talking about essentially, how's XRP a utility token if all you do is buy it and hold it and hope it goes up in value? That's somehow makes it a security. Maybe Gensler's right. I'll tell you this. First and foremost, people buy things for speculative reasons all the time. Bitcoins, which are not securities. Gold, baseball cards, all sorts of trading and collectibles. Like, the fact that you buy it solely because you think it's going to appreciate in value doesn't make it a security, so that's flawed. Second of all, it's not my job to figure out how to use this coin. The fact that people aren't using XRP, as retail investors, is a failure of developers. What apps are out there that we're going to want to use? You look over to Ethereum and you have MakerDAO and, all of these different, you have Uniswap. And, just tons and tons of D apps there to use. And you look over at XRP and you don't have a lot there. As a developer, you have to build things that are valuable, that are useful, and that people want to, take their value and load them up in those apps and use them. This is a failure, plain and simple, of developers to build interesting applications for the retail investor. Now, it's possible, maybe it's because they lack things like hooks and smart contracts. I think you could actually do a lot with the current core capabilities of the XRP ledger, but guess what? That's not my job. I just buy the coins. I don't build on them, right? I don't build things. That's the developer's job. And all of this is important for an ecosystem. We have to have developers, users, investors, and speculators. Trust me, if the coin on this new hook sidechain, if it is not good for investors, if people aren't there buying it, giving liquidity, it will be a failure. You can't have any part of the equation lacking here. Investors are part of that. We are important. We drive a lot of value. And of course, another part of that is developers and users. So, I don't like the lecture of telling investors how they need to act. It's not our job to build value in that way. We are taking our capital, our hard-earned money, and we are injecting it into these ecosystems. And it's really up to the devs to make things that people want to use, valuable systems. And it's as simple as that. Not my job. And I'll tell you this. I believe that the XRP community is starved for some good D-apps. And I bet you if someone builds something really compelling, they're going to be an overnight billionaire because people are going to be running for that. They want it so badly. And so we're going to see. And possibly this sidechain will give them what they need, or possibly they just aren't good at building D-apps. They're only good at building infrastructure. I don't know. Only time will tell that. But I really always push back on this idea because, again, I buy the coins, I invest. That's my job. Now developers go out and build something worth using. That's my opinion. Let me know down below how you feel about it, though. Now we have someone who is building, use cases for their use of XRP and Ripple. And CEO Brad Garlinghouse has termed this the summer of justice as legal tides turn against the SEC. I saw some people, I believe in Congress, were saying fire Gary Gensler. They don't have the authority to do that, but if you have enough bad press, they get enough political capital against him, it's possible he could be removed or maybe not re-up for another term. Depends how things kind of play out here. But he's not impervious from political pressure, and it's not looking good. He keeps losing badly in court. It shows they are overstepping their authority. And also, I'm sure he's in some hot water, Gensler, with the way the FTX stuff, came apart. They like to wash their hands of that and say they're not responsible. But plain and simple, he was getting ready to grant some very significant things to FTX that could have been very troublesome in the long term. And he really got lucky it blew up when it did. So absolutely, this is big. The courts have said enough. The SEC can't just make the rules up as they go along. We see this. I posted this video from Benjamin Cohen the other day in one of my videos that I did. But he's talking about that ADA is likely going into a depression phase. And I believe that because every time I talk about it, I'm like, all these things are being built and this value is there. People are like, yeah, I don't really care about it. And that's usually when you start hitting that best time to invest, when the market falls asleep, where you can get the most exciting news possible and just nobody cares. They're asleep at the wheel here. And I think, I hold ADA token. It's one of my investments. But I'm sitting here going, if I'm going to add to my current holdings, I'm going to sit back and see how this plays out. And it's possible you could see that token price take off, which is fine. I already have some. But I think we're going to get some great buying opportunities ahead of us. And I really don't think that this is a project that you should fall asleep on. This is going to be one of the main competitors to Ethereum, right up there with Polkadot or any of the other major layer 1 smart contract chains. It's come a long ways. Forget your 18s, your 19s, your 20s, but it's come a long ways even in the last couple of years. It's getting much better, and I think the stage is set for the next bull run to really bring a lot of people in this ecosystem using great DApps, using great applications. That's what you want. These devs are hard at work, and they're building some really great systems. So keep your eye on ADA. Don't totally fall asleep on that one. Lastly, I haven't heard about it yet, but a lot of people telling me that I have to start looking at Hedera. And I see that King Solomon has an interview with one of the co-founders. I haven't listened to it yet. I'll link it down below. Make sure that you check it out. And further, make sure you go over, if you haven't yet, and follow my new Twitter account, JungleLink 2.0, at JungleLinkX. Just starting to get that back up and rolling. Let me know what you think down below. And as always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on JungleLink.